Bienvenidos, buenos tardes. Hello, and a beautiful and a hearty welcome to all of our participants, our attendees joining us today. My name is SUMAIRA, and I have been provided with this honor of being today's host, again with this prestigious and interactive informational session organized by K.I.T.E.S Education, Yuva IncubatED, and powered by all of you, yes, our attendees. So we have been having these webinars from 3 consecutive days. And if you have been attending our webinars, we've been having these very specific topics. So similarly, today we also have a very specific, a very distinct topic. The name of today's topic is National Education Policy, a way forward to change the future. Now, without wasting any time, without any further ado, as all of us can see, our first honorable speaker and mentor, Dr. Dr. Twinkle Kumar Sachchan, apologies. Dr. Twinkle Kumar Sachchan is present with us. Dr. Twinkle Kumar Sachchan is the Assistant Professor of SRCASW University. Joining us from Delhi today, our first honorable speaker and mentor, Dr. Twinkle, is present with us. Sir, we honor you, and it's an immense pleasure to introduce you today. Kindly start your session as we await your presence.
Thank you, SUMAIRA, and thank you, Team K.I.T.E.S, to giving me this opportunity. Can I have access of sharing the slide? So today, as SUMAIRA told, our topic is National Education Policy, a way forward to change the future. I'm discussing a little bit about the new National Education Policy in the context of innovation and entrepreneurship. From last 1 year, there is too much of discussion about this national education policy. In some context, someone say, there is a different argument related to it that this is good or bad. So it depends on the perception to perception that this national education policy 2020 is good or bad. But in my point of view, it is a new revolution in context of innovation and entrepreneurship and research also. So as you aware that our late ex-prime minister president Shri Pranab Mukherjee says science, education, research, and innovation are the four pillars on which the development as well as the work culture of a nation rest, in which scientific temperament cannot happen unless we improve the delivery of education at all levels, from primary level to the secondary level to the higher education. And in this, research and innovation are two pillars which improve, which develop the whole nation. Here's some, if we talk about the current education system, particularly higher education system, there's so many problems. Like this current education system have a fragmented higher education ecosystem. If you choose commerce, art, or science, you cannot choose in your higher education like in your college. You have very limited option of choosing another other specific field rather than your field. So you have very limitation. That's one of the biggest advantage in this current higher education system. Then the another problem that less emphasis on the development of cognitive skills and learning outcome. The skill, uh, the current government or from past 10 years, there's a too much focus on each and every government on the skill enhancement. Nowadays, there are so many colleges, universities comes up with an idea of skill enhancement. But in previous education system, there is a very much a less focus, particularly undergraduate or if we talk about the +2 level. Then a rigid separation of disciplines with early specialization and streaming of student into narrow areas of study. The another disadvantage is limited access, particularly in socio-economical disadvantages area with few higher education institutes that teach in local language. This is one of the biggest drawback in the current education system that we don't know, we don't have emphasis on that local language. If we someone teach in that particular local language, the student of that area learns better. This is one of the example. Nowadays, when you saw this social media, there is a teacher's YouTube channel known as Khansa. Why is why he's so much popular? Because he talked a lot about in the local language. The student are easily connected in that particular language. Then the another major problem is lesser emphasis on research at most higher education institute and lack of competitive peer-reviewed research funding across discipline. There is a I face this problem also during my higher education, that I'm not able to choose some multidisciplinary subject. If I want to learn psychology along with science, along with food technology, it is not possible in this current education system, and is a complex regulatory system. All the regulations are a little bit complex. So this new education policy or national education policy 2020 remove all these problems and come up with a different idea. So and one more thing, this education the current education system or current education policies are released in 1986, that is almost 34-year-old. And as you know, according to the scenario or according to the industrial revolution, according to the market revolution, our education system also needs some changes. So 34 year after that little bit modification in 1992, that is almost way back in 28 year back. At that time, the scenario is different. Now the scenario is drastically changed. Modernization, the interdisciplinary subject. So since then, major changes have been observed in the world, and our country and the education policies need to be modified as per the current scenario. So this is approved by the Union Cabinet of India. Almost 1 year is completed of this national education policy. This is the same what I discussed in previous slide, that existing academic structure is like 10 plus 2. There's no education at the foundation stage. At the foundation stage, the need of holistic development is very much needed in that particular scenario. So in this new academic structure, the 2 year that after the age of fifth, from fifth or sixth to till eighth, the first 2 year, class 1 or 2, comes under foundation stage. And before that, we have a different preschool, Anganwadi, Balvatika, and all the education is on the basis of activity based learning. Then we have preparatory stage from class 3 to class 5th, in which the education is given on the by the help of play, discoveries, different activities, different interactive learning. Then next 3 year is known as multi-stages, in which experiential learning in the science, mathematics, art, social science, and humanity. And after that, the secondary stage, that is from 9th to 12th, in which the multidisciplinary study, critical thinking, flexibility, and student choice of subject. Like if someone want to study physics, chemistry, along with psychology, he's feel free to take that subject. Because in current scenario, it is necessary to study PCM. Then this is the draft of National Education Policy 2020, Government of India. in which the policy is comprehensive framework for elementary education to higher education, for as well as a vocational training in both rural and urban India. So there is a word vocational training. This National Education Policy 2020, the main focus is improve the skill among the youth. And this policy is for 20 years. So the policy aims to transfer India education system by 2040 for next 20 years. Then there is some vision of new National Education Policy 2020, in which the National Education Policy envision an education system rooted in India, ethos that contribute directly to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all from primary level to higher level, and by giving all this knowledge, high quality education, our main aim to become knowledgeable, global knowledgeable superpower. The curriculum, the pedagogy of our institute must develop among the student a deep sense of respect toward the fundamental duties, constitutional values, bonding with one's country, awareness of our roles toward the society, toward the world, from the ground level, from the primary schooling. Our fundamental duties among the youth. The other vision of the policy is to instill among the learner a deep rooted pride in being Indians, not only in thought, but also in spirit, intellect, and deed, as well as to develop knowledge, skills, value, and disposition that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development, and living and global well-being. So global citizen कैसे बने? That's the vision of National Education Policy 2020. By different ways. So the different ways or different principles in National Education Policies 2020 are: number one, respect for diversity and local context. Our main focus, that's why government are giving so much emphasis on local language like Hindi, like Tamil, Telugu. इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में अब आप देखोगे बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो हिंदी में भी लिखती हैं. So respect of diversity and local context. By the help of curriculum, by the help of policy. The number two is equity and inclusion. All educational decisions are among the equity and inclusion. Then community participation. Take the knowledge from the education and pass it these knowledge to the society, to the community, either in the form of different philanthropic work, different community work, either it is private or social. Then use of technology, either it is in teaching or in learning, for every strata of the society. Either that particular person have some problem, like the Divyang student, or he are from he have a problem, financial issues. So the learning and teaching is for everyone. During this pandemic condition, we saw that so many students are not able to take the class because they don't have a smartphone. The another principle is emphasizing conceptual understanding. ट्रेडिशनल मेथड लर्निंग की वजह को रिमूव करके कॉन्सेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग पे फोकस किया जाए. Then unique capability. If someone is good in writing, if someone is good in speaking, so it's a educational institute responsibility to identify or recognize a special student, critical thinking and creativity. By the help of, there's a different lab, tinkling lab, different societies which helps in critical thinking, brainstorming sessions, mentorship sessions with the student, then continuous review. So these are the key principle of National Education Policy 2020. Because we are talking about research or innovation, so we have to have a multidisciplinary approach. Art, science, or technical college are clubbed together to prepare a student for job in future in any discipline. Then end of rote learning, the traditional learning, then the NEP will undoubtedly result in the increased generation of ideas, leading to increase in SMEs and MSMEs in future. If the thinking is critical, if the students are from the multidisciplinary environment, in near future we will get maximum startups, maximum innovations, then the holistic development of learner. So the one of the vision of this NEP is a holistic education by bringing an integration of science, social science, art, humanity, and sports to actualize multidisciplinary culture in academia. Because recent last week the Olympic concluded, because it's belong to the sports, but there is a science behind in each and every sports. In behind, if we talk about the running, if we talk about any athletic event, there is a science, there is a humanity behind that discipline, that event. Then conceptual understanding, creativity, and critical thinking will be the foundation of research and innovation in this new vision. Then this NEP 2020 also talk about intellectual property with the help of different national research foundation. Then abolishment of rote learning, streamlining PhD and degree with research, fueling research and innovation in colleges and university. That's why in undergraduation also now the courses is like multidisciplinary, choice based, then education 4.0 and the national education technology firm and receptive technologies. These are some of the key points in NEP 2020. And if we talk about the entrepreneurship, by the help of sheer creativity, technological development, this NEP also promotes student entrepreneurs with exposure to vocational education in partnership with industry, integration of vocational education with education offering in all institute by choosing focus area based on skill gap analysis. Then If we talk about the framework for 21st century learning and era of specialization, again, life and career skill. Then the another pillar is learning and innovation skill and information media and technology skill. So these three skill, life and career skill, then learning and innovation skill, information media and technology skill. So by the help of learning environment, professional development, by the help of curriculum and instructions and standard and assessment, we improve the 21st century. Then, if we talk about another aspect of entrepreneurial revolution in the NEP, by the help of different skills, the young generation are more imaginative, more innovative, more ingenious, more proactive, more pioneering, and prospect oriented. And as you know, this all criteria or all what we say are the core of entrepreneurship, regardless of any career choice. Either it is from science, it is from technology, it is from arts, it is from sports. Then if we talk about the role of NEP, again, different models of vocational education, then new technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, smart board, hand-handled competitive devices, then change what a student learn in the classroom rather than how they learn, then the use of that learning into the real life. And if they do some research that will be recognized and where relevant implemented through close linkage with different government or private agencies or industries. Then licensing between research and relevant branch of government. Then higher education institute will offer vocational education either on their own or in partnership with the industry. So the internship is one of the uh, segment in NEP 2020. Then different incubation center will be set up in higher education institute, either with the partnership in the partnership with industries or different government agencies. Then credit-based framework will also facilitate mobility across general and vocational education. If you learn if you learn something from outside the institute, you will get some credit, and that will use in your overall degree. Then this is the different timelines of implementation in NEP 2020. Like in 21-22 formulation national curriculum framework for different education different schools and educations. That framework is for student and for teachers. Then in 2020 to 23 different teachers are prepared for transformation in assessment system. Then after 5 years, attaining universal foundation literacy and numeracy in all primary schools, all learner by grade 3. So foundation state के ऊपर जितने भी हैं. Then the next step is after 10 year from 25, sorry, after 5 year of 25, the 10 year from 2020, the universal provisioning of quality early childhood development. अभी तो हम हायर एजुकेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, ग्रास रूट लेवल पे भी. Then by 2040, this policy is fully operational. So that's it from my side. I have a little bit more to discuss, but due to time constraint, I'm stopping at here. And if you have any query related to this topic or innovation and entrepreneurship, you can reach me at different platform. I'm very happy to answer any of your query.
Okay, Dr. Twinkle, actually, sir, you have spoken well. We thank you. हम आपका धन्यवाद करते हैं हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए आज. हमारे पास एक क्वेश्चन है from Noel Giri. Now, उनका क्वेश्चन काफी लंबा है and I will read out it for you, sir. How sustainable education mechanism can be achieved through NEP 2020, considering the globalized education standards with respect to English medium of teaching and learning standard, especially in primary level education and lack of availability of quality teachers in primary education in India? So that's a question from
Mr. Giri, you have perfectly asked the question. That's why this framework, the last slide I saw you, I gave you that NEP 2020. So in this slide, as you see, the whole policy is fully operational by 2040. So it takes 20 years. And one of the major point in that policy is nurturing the teachers also. for this system. So it takes time. Yes, you are right. Currently, we don't have that infrastructure. We don't have that faculties. So the policy's main aim is to prepare. It is not for the student. It is for both, for student and for the faculty. Only. It take time, but government or agencies are working on that.
Okay, perfect. So we hope that Mr. Giri got his required answer. And so I think we do not have any. Okay, there we go. Mm. So Mr. Ghosh is asking about when NEP can be enacted, will be enacted.
Will be active or inactive?
When will it be enacted? That's the question from Mr. Ghosh.
Okay. Actually, the government is working on it, and it is started from 2022.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So Mr. Ghosh, our mentor and speaker has answered your question as well. So हम आपका और एक बार धन्यवाद करेंगे सर
Thank you.
हमारे साथ
Thank you, Sumaira.
आज जुड़ने के लिए and enlightening us with such resourceful information.